Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so in this video, I know that the struggle is real. I know that you have goals and you really want to accomplish those goals, but for some reason, financially, you just feel stuck. Now that kind of seems like a deja vu because I was in one point of my life in a similar situation like this. Like there was something, for example, there was an exam, not something, there was an exam that I needed to have done, and because of my financial situation, it just seemed like it as if it was impossible. Did I have the money, the $1,200 available to me at that time? Absolutely not. I did not have that money. But was it possible for me to get that money? Yes, it was. Because you know what? We've got all things are possible. Now, I'm not just here to just talk about faith because, as we know, and James has plainly told us that faith without works is dead. So no matter how much you were to talk about, oh yes, I have faith that I can get this thing done or I can do this, and if you don't actually get the stuff done, take the necessary actions in order for you to accomplish that goal, it's never gonna get done. It's just gonna be a goal that's written down. So what I decided to do, and this is how I want to encourage you to do it. So I'm gonna use myself as an example to tell you how, even if you may not be making a very big salary right now, because situations can change. So today you may be making just about $1,200, but that can change over a period of time if you put in the work that needs to be put in order for you to get to the next level of your life. So this is what I did. So I was making about just about $1,200, and my exam costed $1,200. I needed to acquire that amount in order to do my exam. A year prior, my consultant or my teacher, my lecturer, she always encouraged me, go ahead, you did well, you were the top student. I believe that you can go ahead and do this exam right now. And she always encouraged me to make the sacrifice. Make the sacrifice, make the sacrifice. But I'm like, that's not even making sense to me because I don't have the money. Financially, I was looking at myself and saying that it was impossible because I did not have the money that I needed in order for me to get that exam done. And then, but she always kept on telling me, every time she spoke to me, did you do the exam? Did you schedule the exam? And I would always give an excuse, and she would always tell me to make the sacrifice, to make the sacrifice. Whatever that meant to her, it didn't make sense to me. Until one day, it did. Now, before it did, what I did, I trusted in man. So there was someone who said that they were going to help me, but then that did not come through. Of course. So that did not come through, and I was very disappointed. Do you want to know why? Because I trusted in man rather than God. So I am happy that I actually went through that experience because it really pushed me to get my focus off of man, human being, and to put it onto God. So when the year 2020 hit in January, I decided to myself that okay, I needed to make $1,200. I told myself that I was going to save $500 a month. Now, I know that may seem kind of like, how are you going to cover all your other expenses, etc., etc.? And that is true. I had to consider that. So my main priority was to save $500 a month. That was the first priority. And then I also had to cover off my student loan. And then I also had to cover off transportation for me and my son to go to work, groceries, etc. Thankfully, I also live with my parents, so that also helped in me saving the money and reaching the goal. So in January, I saved $500, and then in February, I saved another $500. By the end of February, I had $1,000. Oh my gosh, like this was so simple for me to do, and I waited and I was dependent on a human being when all I had to do was to make the sacrifice. And I know that sometimes we don't reach our goals because we do not make the sacrifice. One of the ways that you are going to reach your goal is when you make a sacrifice. So I took this thing seriously and I was determined. I stuck to the budget. So yes, I created a budget, and these were the main thing: the $500, the $250 for student loan. I think I probably saved again $200, and then the rest I used it to do grocery shopping, etc., and whatever else. Anything that was not on the budget, I did not know it. If it was not on the budget, I didn't care. I stuck to the budget like glue. And by doing this, it helped me to, by the end of January, save $500, and then by the end of February, save another $500. But you know what else? In January of 2020, the Lord had placed on my heart to ask my parents for financial assistance, and I delayed. I was like, I feel so uncomfortable, and it's really just pride. You know, we say, oh well, we don't want to do it. Well, my excuse was simply that I didn't want to do it because I did not want to add a financial burden on my parents, etc., etc., etc. And it didn't matter because God kept on telling me to do it, to ask my parents for help because I needed the help. So, point to take is that when you need help, ask for help, especially if you know that the Lord is the one leading you and leading you to the exact person that you should go for help. Then ask the individual for help because the door is open. So I finally decided that I was going to ask my parents for financial assistance, and then I received a lot more than I expected. I needed to make $200 because I had already saved up $1,000 by the end of February. And then so when I asked my parents for assistance, they did contribute, and by the end of it, I had now $1,700. So I had more than I really desired. And then, so what I decided, I was like, okay, so now that I had the money, now that I had reached the goal of saving the money that I needed to pay for my exam, goal accomplished, right? So what I did, I scheduled my exams, and then for the remainder of the money, then I used it to buy study materials to help me. And then I took the time between March, so I saved up between January and February. By that time period, I had the money that I needed because again, I followed the instructions and obeying God. And then between March to about July, I took that time frame to just simply study and prepare myself for the exam. I sat the exam in August 2020, the 1st of August, and that was one accomplishment that was done. It was a done deal. All because I finally believed that it was possible. And then I didn't just believe that it was possible, I took the necessary steps of faith. Faith plus works will get you to exactly where you need to be in this life and exactly wherever God is calling you. So I believe that it was possible, then I put in the work. I saved the money. I made the sacrifice. So a lot of times we can accomplish our goals. But the thing about it is that we need to make the sacrifice. And sacrifice is me giving up the pleasure of spending the money elsewhere, the pleasure of having to do this or to do that, or even you giving up. If you were to look at your financial situation, I'm sure that there are areas that you probably are spending money that can be saved, and you can use that money to help you reach towards that financial goal. And by the end of 1 month, you could possibly have about $500. So can you accomplish a goal even if you have a small salary? Yes, you can, but you have to make the sacrifice. You take the time to carefully look at your finances, and then every area where you realize that I am just wasting money here, I have subscriptions here, I am not using that money wisely, I am doing things like your nails, your hair, or buying expensive stuff where you can take that money and put it towards your savings account towards your goal. Then you look at all of the areas that are just a waste, and you can take that lump sum of money and put it towards your goal every month. So whether you may need to do it for a 5-month period or 2 months like myself, or even a whole year, if you continue to do that, by the end of the period you will be amazed at how much money that we just waste and spend. So remember that with God, all things are possible. And yes, you can attain your financial goals if you make the sacrifice and if you discipline yourself to do so. For me, I was able to do it because I had positioned in my mind and in my heart that this is the goal that I want to accomplish. I'm not going to let another year pass and I did not do the exam. And then I'll have to restudy, retake the class again to then resit the exam. I just decided to go by faith and works, and I accomplished the goal. So I encourage you to take those simple steps. You look at your finances, you scrutinize it, you look at areas where you are just wasting money, where your monies are just really leaking. You pull it in and you discipline yourself. You tell yourself that this is what you're going to do and you are going to work towards that goal until you accomplish it. And then by the end of that 6 month period or 2 months period or even a year, you're going to realize that you really had what it takes to do that. So remember that you can. Do not allow yourself to think that, oh my gosh, it's not possible for me to attain that goal. It's not possible for me to take that particular course, to take that particular program, to develop yourself. It is important for you. You just need to make the sacrifice, and with that, then you'll be able to accomplish your goal.